client recently said something to me on a call that I haven't actually been able to stop thinking about. She said that she uses food to punish herself when she thinks she's done something wrong. It's not for comfort, it's not for enjoyment, it's for punishment. And if you've ever eaten something, felt terrible about it, and then kept eating it because you've already ruined the day, this video is about that exact cycle. And I promise you, it's got nothing to do with your willpower or anything to do like that. I've heard some version of this call after call, and one client described it to me as a shame cycle. Stress happens, she eats to cope with it, then she feels guilty about having eaten, and that guilt becomes stress, which starts that whole bloody thing all over again. Someone else told me that the pattern's been running since childhood and she couldn't even point to the time where it actually began or it started because it's just been there for so many years. And I wonder if any part of what I've just said actually sounds familiar, because here's what's actually happening with that underneath it. This isn't hunger, it's body regulation. When something upsets you, like sadness, disappointment, or a sense that you failed at something, food becomes the fastest dopamine hit. It becomes the fastest way to change how you actually feel, even if it's just for a few minutes. One client told me that she reaches for carbs and sugar specifically when she's sad because it's the quickest hit of comfort she's actually got access to. When she's angry though, this is really interesting. When she's angry, it's totally different. She doesn't reach for food. She'll kind of write or move on, right? It's specifically the sadness, the disappointment in herself, the shame that sends her towards food. And that's not a character flaw, it's a coping mechanism that has just been going on for so long, and it's likely because nobody ever taught her a better one. The second half of the cycle then comes, and this is the part where people usually get stuck. And it's not just for months, for weeks, it's for years. After the eating, the guilt kicks in, and for a lot of people, the guilt doesn't just sit there quietly. It gets used. So one client put it to me directly. She used it to punish herself when she thinks she's done something wrong. Not just about food, it's genuinely about anything she feels she's failed at, even in life. The food becomes the punishment for what she has done wrong. And punishing yourself with the exact same thing you're trying to build a better relationship with just reinforces the story that you just can't be trusted about it, which makes you slip more likely deeper and deeper and deeper into that hole. That's exactly why just having more discipline or just eat clean completely misses the point for this pattern, because you're not fighting a lack of knowledge. You know what to do, right? Most of the people I speak to know what a balanced plate looks like. But what they don't have is a way to interrupt that pattern, that spiral, before the shame takes over and then they get stuck in it. Telling somebody with a shame-driven eating pattern is like telling them to be stricter is like telling somebody who is feeling super overwhelmed to calm down. It doesn't actually touch what's driving the actual behavior. There's also something else which makes it worse, and it's something that most people do to themselves without ever realizing it. It's labeling food as good or bad. And the moment that chocolate becomes bad, right, as soon as you eat it, that's a moral failure. And once you fail, the logic shifts in your head again and you go down that spiral. Well, I've already ruined it, might as well do it. Right? So you don't label foods as good and bad. One client told me that she said she doesn't believe she can realistically avoid brownies for the rest of her life. And she is totally right, because why would you want to do that? Brownies are delicious. Trying to avoid all those types of food is going to set up the next binge. So what actually helps here? So 3 things. None of them are willpower, funnily enough. First is removing the moral language from food as good or bad. It's not. It's just food. It's nutritionally dense or less nutritionally dense. That's it. That alone is going to remove the trigger from a load of different situations, right? Second is building a non-specific food outlet for the emotion that sends you towards it. Okay? So some people that's writing, that's reading, that's sport, whatever it is. Some people it's just naming that food out loud. It's naming that feeling out loud before deciding what to do about it. It's stop and checking. And the third is having someone check in before that spiral compounds. Because a lot of the damage isn't the first slip, it's the next 3 days afterwards, when nobody's asking how you're doing and the guilt just sits there and it gets worse and worse, then you just dive further and deeper into it. And if any of this has landed for you, I want to say one thing clearly. The food is never really the problem, right? The food is doing what it's exactly built to do, right? It's helping you cope in a moment. with something that felt too big to sit with. The actual problem is that nobody ever showed you a way to break that cycle that comes after it. And the cycle can be broken. Not through more restriction, absolutely not. Not through more discipline, but mainly actually through understanding what's driving it in the first place. And once you can sort that out, once you can understand that, you'll be in a much better position to deal with this shame cycle that constantly reoccurs.